Hey everybody, this is Bill. I'm the salty old Marine. Today I want to talk about something I call gatekeepers. There's a lot of gatekeepers out there. There's a lot of people out in the world who discourage. People who tell you no. People who say you shouldn't. And they do it about a lot of different things, but I'm talking about VA disability in this case. And here's what I see. A veteran is thinking about filing for some form of disability. And then they hear from various people, various other veterans, that they should not file for VA disability. The veterans who served in combat, the veterans who have combat action ribbons and who were in the thick of things and had the bullet flying overhead and had to return fire, the warriors are going to tell you that you're not deserving of VA disability because you are not one of them. So they're going to encourage you not to file for VA disability. That's gatekeeping. Those veterans who were not in actual combat, but who served during wartime, are going to tell you not to file for VA disability if you served in peacetime. So in other words, they're going to be gatekeeping that only veterans who served during actual wartime should be filing for VA disability. And the Marines and the Army are going to tell the Air Force and the Navy that they should not be applying for VA disability. Because what did they do besides push papers? They were never actually in harm's way. They never actually did stuff. So they shouldn't be applying for VA disability. These are gatekeepers, right? And everybody hates the Coast Guard. And then finally we come to the ultimate gatekeeper. That's you. That's me. Because we're human beings, and because we are decent human beings, and we don't want to cheat the system, and we're not looking to commit fraud. And this idea of filing for VA disability, well, it's a little unsettling to begin with, because you've got to, first of all, admit there's something wrong. I had a terrible time just admitting that I was a disabled veteran. You know, that's not something I ever thought of myself as. No, I'm fully able veteran kind of guy. Yeah, walk with a cane, don't you? Yeah, well, maybe you're not fully abled. Can you run around the block? No. Maybe you're disabled. Yeah. So, we gatekeep ourselves. I'm not worthy of filing for VA disability. Look at all these people missing limbs. These people who came back with TBIs, traumatic brain injury. These people who came back with a lot of mental problems. They saw friends die. They dealt with the horrors of war, upfront and personal. They deserve VA disability, but I don't, because I didn't see those things. Yeah, we're pretty good at being our own gatekeepers. But here's the thing. That's not how VA disability works. That's not how it was intended to work. The gatekeepers can say whatever they like, but they're wrong. In a legal way, in an ethical way, in a moral way, in every way that you can measure, they're just wrong. I understand why people are gatekeepers. I understand people wanting to protect the integrity of the system. But they shouldn't be doing it. And you shouldn't be gatekeeping yourself. What I mean by that is this. Let's say you're a veteran who served during peacetime. And let's say you were involved in a traffic accident on base, and you were injured severely, and you have a disability from that injury to this day. Maybe you had to get out of the military because of it. But whether you did or whether you didn't, if you still have that disability today, the VA's rules are that if that happened while you were on active duty and it's affecting you today, that's a disability that can be compensated. That's a disability that you can get health care through the VA for. Excuse me. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Let's take PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Post meaning after. Traumatic, trauma. Well, people think of PTSD, they think of combat, and rightfully so. A lot of PTSD comes from combat. But trauma doesn't all come from combat. Anybody can suffer from trauma, and nobody, I mean nobody, not the gatekeepers, and hopefully not you, can say, my trauma is not worthy. It's not as good as your trauma. Your trauma is more worthy than my trauma. How can anyone say that? Trauma is trauma, and how it affects you is on you. I'm saying that if you're deeply affected by that trauma, which you experienced in the military, it's compensable, and you can be getting health care for it as well. Whether it's a mental problem or a physical problem, whether it was caused directly by something that happened in the service or by a secondary condition, meaning your service connected for something that happened in the service and it caused something to happen. However that occurred, let the VA be the gatekeeper. In other words, if the VA doesn't think that your disability is related to your military service, and you've done everything you can to prove your case, then there's your decision. The VA made the decision. They were the ultimate gatekeeper. But don't limit yourself. Don't be your own gatekeeper. I'm not worthy. I shouldn't be filing. Somebody else deserves it more. There are plenty of people out there already who will tell you that you're not worthy, that you shouldn't be filing for a VA disability. Oh, man. To hell with them. Silence your own critic. Think about your health. Think about your future. Think about things objectively. Did you suffer a disability while you're on active duty? Do you have that disability today? Does it affect you in a negative way? If so, stop gatekeeping yourself. File the claim. If it turns out that the VA doesn't agree, then let the VA not agree. Don't stop yourself before you even get to that point. I hope you found this useful. I'm Bill. I'm the salty old Marine. Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and as always, have a great day.